You're listening to Book Banter with Dianne Burckhardt, your book talk podcast. Join me every Wednesday for real conversations with authors and publishing insiders, where you get to connect with the humans behind the books you love. Let's get on with our show today. Well, hello, my happy people. Today is June 17th, 2026, and have I got an amazing guest for you today. Today's author is not only an outstanding mystery writer, but her day job is just as fascinating as the book she creates. She is a certified forensic document examiner and the current president of the American Handwriting Analysis Foundation. For decades, she has worked with handwriting, questioned documents, and legal cases where the smallest detail can make all the difference. What makes her fiction so compelling is that she brings that real-world expertise directly to the page. Her mystery series features a forensic handwriting expert at the center of the action, and there is something special about reading a story written by someone who actually does the job. When an expert writes fiction about their own field, you know the details are going to be authentic, and that is certainly the case with today's guest. Some of you may remember this author from Season 3, Episode 132, when we discussed her powerful memoir, Growing from the Ashes. In that interview, we talked about her writing journey and the heartbreaking loss of her daughter. During today's conversation, she also speaks about her daughter being unalived by her boyfriend and how that tragedy shaped both her life and her writing. If you would like to hear more about her memoir and how she got started as an author, I encourage you to go back and listen to episode 132 in season 3 after you listen to today's episode. You can find a link to that in the description of today's podcast. Today, however, we are celebrating the release of her 10th book in her Claudia Rose mystery series, The Lies Between the Lines. This series follows forensic handwriting expert Claudia Rose as she becomes involved in dangerous investigations where hidden clues, altered documents, and deceptive handwriting can reveal the truth behind the crime. One of the things that I love most about this series is that every book works as a standalone. While longtime readers will enjoy the continuing character development, new readers can jump in with any title and immediately understand the characters, their relationships, and the mystery at hand. I actually pre-ordered my copy a while ago, and as soon as I get a little work done on my own writing tonight, I plan to curl up with the newest installment of the Claudia Rose series. But that's enough blather for me for right now. Let's get right to today's interview. Please welcome to Book Banter with Dianne Burckhardt, award-winning author, Sheila Lowe. The way that we always like to start all of our shows out is to have my guests tell everyone who you are and what you do.
I am Sheila Lowe, and I'm a forensic handwriting expert, but I am also a mystery writer, trying to do more of the latter.
And of course, you have been on our show before. You were actually part of Season 3. It was episode 132, I believe. I'll have that in the description of today's podcast so people can go and check out your earlier show. So that way, if they want to find out more of your background about how you got into being a handwriting expert and transitioned into fiction writing, they can find that there. But right now, I want to talk more about you becoming the president of the American Handwriting Analysis Foundation again.
Yes, again. Yeah, I've been a member of, we'll call it AHAF for short. That's a long name. I joined in 1977, so I have been a member for a long time. And in 2012, I decided it was time for me to step up and do something. So I became elected president. But what I didn't expect was I would be president for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be two-year terms. So finally, at the end of that 10 years, we found somebody who was qualified and willing to take over. And she did a 2-year term. But then she wasn't able to serve longer, and they asked me to come back. And so since nobody else was doing it, I agreed to do that. And I have been in a position since 2 years ago. But that's coming to a close.
Oh, really? You're going to pass the baton again?
Yeah, I'm not taking the second term. I want to spend more time on my books. So we have found a member who is willing to step up and to run for the presidency, but she's running unopposed. So she will be the president, Kim Woodward, and she is a former CIA analyst
Oh,
and
nice.
yes, and a therapist. And she's trained by a very good organization. So I know she'll do a great job and bring new blood to the organization. And I'll still be a part of the cabinet. I publish the newsletter and I'm currently certification chair. So I'll still be involved. I just won't be responsible for everything.
That's always a good thing. You can just sit back and enjoy being part of the group.
Yes, I will enjoy that very much.
How has it actually been for you this second time around? Was it as much work as you remembered, or was it a little bit more relaxed since you knew what to expect?
It's really not that much work, actual work, but I feel like I've been relaxing too much just because I have so many other things going on. So that's why I didn't want to run again because I feel like I can't give it my all right now.
Hmm.
And I don't do things unless I can give it my all.
And speaking of all the other things that you're doing, you have for a long time been writing books on handwriting analysis. Then you
Yes,
got into writing fiction books, but now you've added something new to the mix. You actually compile a cookbook.
I did compile it. Yes. I asked for volunteers from see, originally the cookbook was supposed to be, my idea was to have a fundraiser for AF.
Hmm.
That didn't work out because I was going to publish it through Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, and they tell you what your minimum price is. And it
Hmm.
was ridiculously high, and the royalties that they were going to pay the organization were like pennies.
Yeah,
So I just did it myself. But I asked anybody, they didn't have to be members, anybody around the world, if they would like to contribute a recipe or more than one. Some people sent a whole bunch. And also, I asked them to submit a handwritten recipe and
hmm.
maybe a little story about it. Some of them did, some of them didn't. But it ended up being about a 300-page cookbook, and it has some really great recipes in it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love the idea of handwriting experts doing a cookbook with handwritten recipes.
Yes. Yeah, there was some very different handwriting. Some of mine from when I was early 20s, probably, or maybe even younger than my handwriting back then, because I still have those recipe cards that I wrote out.
Hmm.
And it had the name came from one of the members. I had done an anthology for the organization that I edited. I got, I think, 14 of the top handwriting analysts around the world to submit an essay for this book. And we called it The Power of the Pen.
Hmm.
And it's from the subconscious to the conscious, I think is the subtitle. So this time, somebody suggested, since it was a cookbook, we call it The Power of the Penne. So we have a little pasta.
Yeah, I love that. I love the wordplay.
Yeah, well, it was interesting to do. And now people keep saying, am I too late? Can I still put one in?
So where did the idea of doing a cookbook even come from?
I don't know. It just popped into my head. I don't even, really don't remember what it was.
I love the whole idea because I know one of my most cherished possessions from my grandmother is
Mm.
I have her recipe book or her recipe box with all of
Oh,
the handwritten recipe cards in it.
wow.
And it's so much different having the handwritten ones than just having the
Yeah,
recipes saved, like on the computer or something. There's
right.
something about that handwriting that makes it so much more personal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did type out all of the recipes as well. So
Mhm.
if you can't read the handwriting, still get the recipe. But yes, absolutely. It's a part of the person. It is absolutely personal.
Now, one of the things that our listeners would not know, it was that you actually analyzed my handwriting after our last interview.
I did.
I sent you a sample of my handwriting from before I had all of my brain surgeries, and then another sample after I had my brain surgeries. And I don't really remember specifically things that you told me about my handwriting, but I do remember that I agreed with it.
Right. Yeah, I published the analysis and your story in the newsletter that I edit for the magazine, which is called The Vanguard. And we had talked about some of the physiological challenges that you have faced and how that showed up in your handwriting. And I enlarged the handwriting, and I've got some little arrows pointing to where the physiological markers show up. Now, as a handwriting analyst, I can't diagnose illness,
Hmm.
but handwriting does show where there's stress in various parts of the body. And those corresponded to the issues you were facing. So let me see, I'm looking at the article now. And one of the things that I wrote was that in the before surgery, you were friendly, outgoing, with a strong need to be validated in order to feel worthy. And so you would work hard and pursue success despite all the challenges that you face. And as the handwriting, this was in a before surgery, brain surgery, which is, of course, very significant. The slant in the diary, I was using diary pages of handwriting. So the slant changed as it went down the page and it got more rightward, slanted more to the right. So in that case, it was an indication of what you were writing about, which was emotional content. It was a strong emotions that you were expressing.
Hmm.
And then it was also, there was simplification in the writing, which is the ability to kind of adapt and roll with the punches and stuff like that.
I remember thinking it was almost like having somebody watch you through your bedroom window because it's like you were actually describing things that I did not talk about to people. But you
Mm.
were so right. It was absolutely amazing. It really took my breath away whenever I was reading all of that. I was so shocked how accurate it all was.
You know, when the very first time I heard about handwriting analysis was when I was in high school, and my boyfriend's mother had read a book and she analyzed mine. And that was the way I felt about what she said about me. She wasn't even a professional, she just
Mm.
read a book. But yes, I know. I felt like, wow, for the first time, somebody really knows me.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
That's the one thing that I thought was just so fascinating about the whole subject was how just a little bit of pen on paper shows your personality. It's amazing how much it actually does show you.
It really does. And then, like I always say, after more than 50 years of analyzing handwriting, I was ready to kill someone, but only on paper.
Yeah. Which is a perfect segue for your next fiction book that you have coming out because you have book number 10 in your Claudia Rose mystery series coming.
Do. I wrote this book. This is the fastest I've ever written a novel. It only took me 4 months instead of 9.
Wow.
But I really like it a lot, and I hope, and the beta readers who have looked at it have really liked it a lot too. It's Claudia Rose is my forensic handwriting expert who does the same kind of work that I do. She's not me. She's a lot braver than me, whatever she is, foolhardy. Uh, but we do the same kind of thing. So in this book, she has two cases that she's working on. And one is a case of a big tech CEO is receiving anonymous notes that are vaguely threatening and they're escalating. And so he's trying to figure out who's sending him these notes. And so he has her looking at, well, his niece believes that one of the family members is behind it. So she's looking at all their handwritings. The other case, which seems to be completely unrelated, emphasis on the word seems, is a case of a young man who has been arrested for grand theft for stealing one of those Tesla trucks. And it has a sign on the back window that says, I bought it before we knew Elon was crazy. And so the title to the car is the signature is forged. And they're accusing him of doing it. And he's adamant that he didn't. But what's different about this book that people have commented on is that they didn't realize it came out in the very first book, Poison Pen, that Claudia was divorced for a few years from her husband, Alan. And that's all you ever hear about him.
Hmm.
Alan shows up in this book
Oh,
as a public
okay.
defender. Yeah, he's a public defender of this young man. So get to know Claudia's ex-husband, and he wants her to work with him on this case.
Oh,
So
that's amazing. Because I remember whenever I read that first book, I was kind of wondering, it's like, there's got to be a story to an ex-husband. And I kind of wondered if he would ever show up. And I've only read the first two books in the series. I hate to admit that. But I'm glad to know that he's going to be in this one.
He reminds me of Ryan Gosling. That's who I had in my head when I was writing it. Just kind of really nice and casual, but he's a public defender. And I work with a lot of public defenders in my practice. So I contacted one of them that I'm working with on a very interesting case.
Hmm.
And she read over one of the courtroom scenes and gave me a couple of hints. And had several comments from beta readers saying Claudia's husband, Joel, who's a LAPD homicide detective,
Hmm.
should be jealous of her working with him.
Hmm.
And I said, well, he's really mature and they have this great relationship. So I just added a little bit of tension. I thought, okay,
That's one of those things where it really kind of depends.
yeah.
It just depends on what you're kind of invoke in the story.
Well, in another one of my Claudia books, I think it was book 8, no, 6, Outside the Lines, she goes to England after suffering an assault in a courtroom, and she has PTSD. She goes to England, and then there she gets involved in an eco-terrorism plot. And there's a guy, the head of it is very charismatic. And
Hmm.
so I think Joel has, I think that was the one. They all kind of meld together after a while. But there was some jealousy there, and I don't want to do that again
Yeah.
here in the relationship.
For those people who are new to the Claudia Rose mystery series, what do you think makes Claudia Rose such a compelling character?
Oh, good question. She's a modern woman in her early 40s. Well, when the series starts, she's just turning 40. And she has a lot of the challenges that we face today, obviously. And she's trying to make a living and she gets involved in all these cases. She's got a very soft heart for people who are suffering.
Hmm.
Like in the second book, she becomes involved with a 14-year-old troubled girl. And that seems to be a theme through the books. An interviewer pointed out to me once that there's a lot about mothers and daughters,
Hmm.
which makes sense for me because, issues I had with my mother and my late daughter. And maybe I'm trying to resolve them, but I hope that Claudia's compassion is one of the things that makes her a compelling person because, I mean, she's not a pushover, but she really cares about the people she's involved with.
Yeah, I think she's a very well-rounded character.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
Considering that you're a forensic handwriting analyst, and that is also the job that your main character has, do you ever have trouble balancing forensic authenticity with storytelling?
I don't think so. In fact, people have said that they've learned a lot from reading the books, but
Mhm.
they don't feel like they're being lectured to.
Mhm. They're not reading a
So,
textbook.
exactly. So I have to be careful what I pick. But because I'm a Gestalt analyst and
Hmm.
not, which means that I'm looking at the whole picture, and it's really hard to pick out this means that because I'm looking at the space, form, and movement of the handwriting.
Hmm.
But there's another method of analysis where they do say this means that I don't use that. I don't find it as effective for
Hmm.
myself. But it's easier. It's like if you're learning the piano, and it's the difference between learning the theory and just learning how to play a few chords.
Hmm.
I don't want handwriting analysis to look simple because it's not, it's highly complex. But I don't want it to be a textbook. I've written textbooks, at least think about 7 of them.
That's one thing for anybody who is actually interested in learning more about how to do handwriting analysis. You have several books available on Amazon currently that can help get them into the basics, at least, of that field.
The basic book is called Reading Between the Lines, Decoding Handwriting. So that is like a mini course, introductory course. The textbook for my Gestalt course, my more advanced course, is also available.
Oh, is that
And
one
then,
online now on Amazon?
yes, I put it online. Because when people take it's a self-study course, I send them the textbook,
Hmm.
by email. But some people prefer to have it in their hands.
Hmm.
So rather than printing out, 300 pages. Now they can buy it in a bound book.
Yeah,
So,
I'm still one of those people. I like a physical textbook in my hand when I'm studying
yeah,
something. I want to be able to highlight. I want to be able to
right.
put little tabs in there. I need
Mhm.
the physical books.
Yeah, for stuff like that, absolutely. And that's why I did it. And then I have some other more advanced studies in handwriting psychology has topics like serial killers, handwriting, addictive personality, sexual abuse from childhood seen in adult handwriting and stuff like that. And I have one on personality disorders. So there are like seven, 6 or 7 of those books.
Yeah, it's amazing the catalog that you have of published works across so many different genres. I mean, you have fiction, you have nonfiction, you have educational, you have your cookbook. Is there anything that you haven't done that you're
You
wanting
for,
to do still?
you forgot my memoir.
Oh, and yeah, and your memoir too.
I did that a couple years ago. Yeah. Which is about the spiritual journey from the murder of my daughter by her boyfriend in 2000 and what I learned from that. And what I learned is basically there is no death. There's only life after Earth. And so, and then, I write another series, a paranormal series about a young woman who talks to dead people. And so that I can use all of the things that I've learned over the past 26 years and put them into fiction. That's going to be my next book after the one that comes out, the Claudia book.
Is there anything that you have wanted to do that you haven't done yet?
I don't think so.
I think it would be kind of hard pressed to find something that you haven't delved into at least a little bit.
No, I can't think of anything. If there's something I want to do, I generally do it if I possibly can.
And that's a good practice.
Yeah, it doesn't always get done right away, but I put it on my list so I don't forget. And then I work my way down. I'm one of those people, it's like in writing, there are two kinds of authors. There's the plotters who have to go step by step, and the pantsers who go by
Mhm.
the seat of their pants. I'm a plotter. It's a loose outline and it'll change, but I have to know where I'm going. So I keep a
Mhm.
list of things I want to do.
I was laughing because I am so not a plotter. I have tried so many times, it just does not work for me.
Well, I tried not doing it and it didn't work for me. Everybody has their own process.
hmm Sometimes you just have to go with the flow.
Yeah. Well, I found when I didn't plot, when I was writing books for Penguin and I wrote, this was like the third Claudia book, and I wrote 5 chapters and then I sort of knew where I was going, but I all of a sudden I realized my deadline was like 3 months away. So
Oh,
I had to go back then and outline. And what I found was what I had planned for the end of the book, the big
mhm.
surprise, needed to come in the middle,
Oh,
which meant
wow.
I needed a different ending.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
So for me, I need to know.
That would be such a huge reorganization to have that kind of a change in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not easy, but we can create whatever we want.
hmm
That's the fun of writing. Like Lawrence Block's book, Telling Lies for Fun and Profit.
Yeah. Considering that this is the 10th book in the Claudia Rose series, do you ever find that you have trouble coming up with a plot for your new ones?
Yes, definitely. This one was not supposed to be a book. I wanted to do an author magnet, which
hmm
means something to give away to attract people to my series. So
hmm
I thought a short story. Well, I don't read short stories generally, and I don't write them.
hmm
So I wrote what I thought was a short story, it was about 4,000 words, I think. And I sent it to a few people, and they go, "No, this is not a this is a book. You have to finish it." So and then of course with the Claudia series, the titles are all puns on handwriting. So I finally ended up, and I put this on my Facebook and got feedback and all. It's called The Lies Between the Lines. That one's going to come out on June 17th.
I love the puns that you do with these. I think some of the titles are just absolutely amazing.
Thank you. It's hard to keep coming up with. The last one I really liked was Maximum Pressure. because it really was very symbolic of what was going on in the story
Hmm.
and very hard pressure, maximum pressure on the pen, on the page. The harder you press on the pen, it's symbolic of the degree of aggression that you're acting out on the world. So if you have extremely heavy pressure that feels like braille on the back of the paper,
Hmm.
be careful. That's a lot of intensity. And people who write like that tend to blow up easily. But on the other hand, some people write with extremely light pressure
Hmm.
and they may be just as frustrated and angry, but they turn it inward until it's like a pressure cooker. It suddenly explodes outward. That's like the man who killed my daughter. His handwriting was extremely light. You could barely see it on the page.
Oh,
And he
wow.
kept all of that stuff inside him until it exploded. So anyway, so I'm still always looking for new good titles that don't sound cozy.
Do you ever have people confusing your book series for a cozy mystery?
Yes, and that's so frustrating because the problem is people who like cozies and read my books may not like them because there is a little, not a lot, not gratuitous violence, but there's some. There's profanity and very little sex, but they're modern people. And then so those people might not like my books. And then, well, here, back when I was at Penguin, my editor left, who really loved my series,
Mhm.
and the new editor who came in really didn't care at all. And I feel that she sabotaged me in several ways, but one being the cover of that book was a cozy. It really looks like a cozy. So people who like cozies would read it and not like it, and people who are looking for psychological suspense wouldn't read it because they see a cozy cover.
Yeah. Yours falls more into mystery thriller.
I call them psychological suspense.
Hmm. Because I
Uh,
don't think that it would ever hit the cozy category.
no, no, but I have seen it on some cozy lists. Just
Hmm.
because the characters know each other or she lives in a small beach town doesn't make
Yeah.
it cozy.
Yeah. Now seems like the perfect time to do our five quick questions that never turn out to be quick. I just refuse to give up.
Okay,
Are you ready?
I hope so.
Question one. Since our last discussion, you have been doing quite a bit of traveling. What's been the most pleasant place that you have visited?
Gosh, where have I been? Because I hate travel. All of my travel in the last few years has been pretty local. A couple of months ago, last month was it? Gosh, I went to Orange County where I grew up. After I came here from England, I lived in
Hmm.
Orange County. So I got to see my high school classmates again.
Oh,
And
nice.
I was invited to speak to a group of women who wanted to hear about handwriting analysis and liked to buy my books. So that was very pleasant.
Hmm.
Uh, I really can't remember where I've been. Oh, I went to San Francisco a couple of months ago for the Left Coast Crime Mystery Writers Conference. So that was fun. That's the furthest I've been since I went to Germany 6 years ago to see my granddaughter after she was born.
I know in your newsletter, a lot of them have been like the local things doing like crime writers and all of those kinds of things.
Yes, I've done four. Last month I did four events, some at libraries and at art festivals. And I'm planning a launch party for The Lies Between the Lines.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, probably on June 25th. Thanks. The book is coming out in June. So those are the kinds of things I've been doing.
You're still keeping so busy. I
Yes.
have a hard time keeping up with you.
Me too. But I'm happiest when I'm sitting right here at my keyboard.
Question two. Of all of the author events that you attend, since we've been talking about that, for your various projects, which one stands out the most to you?
Oh gosh, I do so many. I think in this year I've done 25 already. I was just
Wow.
counting. I was counting on my calendar.
I got
Um,
tired just thinking about that.
well, some of them are on Zoom. I'm about to do I'm doing an event that's going to be in Poland,
Hmm.
and they're gonna instead of making me get up in the middle of the night this time, they said I can record it. I got
That's
to do
nice.
that. Um, I don't know. I guess things like the one that I mentioned in Orange County, where 150 women, I get to speak to them,
Hmm.
and they're buying my books, and we're talking about books, and those are really fun. Getting to meet the readers, really enjoy those.
Question three. When thinking about the recipes from The Power of the Penne, what recipe stood out the most to you? And was it the handwriting or the recipe?
Oh, I didn't really pay attention to the handwriting. But the recipe that it was very simple too. It was for like a corn pudding.
Hmm.
I made it for Thanksgiving, and it was the best corn pudding I think I ever had. But there were a bunch in it. Several people sent me recipes for chocolate cake, and I
Yeah.
included them all because they were all a little bit different,
Hmm.
and those looked good. There's so many in there that look good. 300 pages. I mean, probably 150 recipes, but
See, I may
yeah.
have to give that cookbook to my husband because every year for my birthday, I just want him to make me a plain chocolate cake. That's all I ever
Uh,
want. But he's getting tired of doing the same recipe. So
well,
I
there
could
you
give
go.
him your cookbook and
Yes,
it would have several chocolate recipes.
it would. Absolutely. I
So we
can,
can both get what we want.
yes, you should try all of them.
He would love that.
It's been like 6 months since I put it together, so it's kind of hard to remember all of them, but there's a few drinks in there, drink mixes, and there's pies, pie crusts, and just things that people thought they enjoyed doing
Hmm.
that were useful. A lot of friends and then friends of friends. And I got some from my colleagues in Poland and several other countries.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a real good variety of stuff.
Yeah, I need to get that for him. He likes having cookbooks on the shelf in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's a 6 by 9. It's nice.
Question four. If you could have any of your books, doesn't have to even be just fiction, but if any of your books could be turned into a movie, which one would it be?
Probably Dead Letters because it takes place, in Egypt and Gibraltar and England
Ooh,
and in the US. They go to Tucson because Claudia's brother gets arrested for murder. And so when his daughter, who's 19 and on a dig in Egypt, she disappears from the dig. So her dad can't go. So Auntie Claudia has to go.
that would be a sweeping epic going to all of those
It
places. That would be
would.
amazing.
Yeah, but I'll give you a second choice. One of my favorites of my books is Inkslinger's Ball. And one of my sons, my older son, is a tattoo artist.
Hmm.
And years ago, he asked me to order him some supplies. And as I was looking, I found that there was this convention, a tattoo convention called the Inkslinger's Ball. And I said, I have to use that as a title. So I did. And that book is about Annabelle, the 14-year-old that Claudia met in the second book. And she gets a secret sugar skull tattoo that could get her killed. And that book is partly from Claudia's point of view, partly from Joel, her boyfriend at the time, and partly from Annabelle. I think Annabelle. Gosh, I should go back and look at it. But it's multiple points of view. Like in Dead Letters is
Hmm.
also, and most of the time I just write from Claudia's point of view. So it's different. But I think it's a good story because Joel is investigating three major crimes that don't seem to be connected, but that come together. And Annabelle is at the root of a lot of this stuff.
Oof. Yeah, see, I have to catch up on my reading.
I've been approached in the past by two really good producers,
Mhm.
but nothing has come of it so far. So you never know.
Well, and it's crazy how often people actually buy rights for something
Yeah.
and then it never goes into production. So even if you do sell the rights to something, it still doesn't mean it's going to happen.
I know, and I'd like to be like J.K. Rowling and say, I need to have the last word because
Hmm.
I don't want Claudia to end up being a young, skinny blonde.
Yeah.
in my head, she's Amy Adams and Joel is Gerard Butler.
Hmm.
That's who I see.
And I've seen that happen too, where there was a book series that I was just so caught up in, and the main character had like wild curly hair, she was chubby, and they turned it into a TV series, and she was tall and thin and blonde.
Uh, yeah, it's just, and you just lose all control over it. And
Hmm.
yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I don't care if they do or not, but and it takes a long time. My friend who has optioned his series 6 years ago, every year or every 2 years, they send him a check to renew the option,
Wow.
but nothing has happened yet.
So they're still interested though. That's a good thing.
Yes, and yeah, it's a really good production company.
Hmm. Hopefully something will happen for that soon. So,
Hopefully.
but speaking of books to movies, we are asking everyone the same question five, and we're going to be putting a list of the answers into our year-end book buying guide this year. So, for question five, what book to movie adaptation do you think is the best that you have seen so far?
Ooh. Give me some names.
Well, some of the things we've heard of so far, of course, are like Harry Potter and The Hobbit and Dune.
Oh,
My personal one was The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I loved that book, and they did a fabulous job in the movie.
uh, well, not being well read, I read in a very narrow circle. I guess Harry Potter would have to be it because, you know, that was just amazing.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to the kids series coming up.
Now, there's still
TV.
so much being done with that series. It's just
Yeah.
amazing how much it has proliferated society.
Yes. Well, if I think of any others, I'll let you know because, you know, I can't off the top of my head. I don't know. I just don't know. I need to read wider, I guess.
So now, what is coming up next for you? Do you have anything for planned after you have the launch of Lies Between the Lines?
Yes, I am, because what I was going to do before that, when I started writing the reader magnet
Hmm.
and got sidetracked, I was outlining the next book in the Beyond the Veil series.
Hmm.
So that's the one I'll be working on next.
Do you have a title for that one yet?
I do. An Unkindness of Ravens.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Well, we'll see. I belong to a writers group called the Blackbird Writers.
Hmm.
And of course, raven is a blackbird, not the same as a blackbird.
That seems
And
very fitting.
I, yeah, so that got me in thinking in that direction. Anyway, I have the plot in mind, and we'll see. Jessica Mack will be back talking to the dead.
Are you hoping for a 2027 publication or maybe later?
Well, I have been publishing under my own imprint for the last 4 years,
Hmm.
but I'm transferring all my books to a publisher in the UK. So it depends on them, but I think like if I can get it to them by the end of the year, it would take them about 3 months to publish it.
Wow,
So
that's
yeah,
pretty quick for a publishing house.
it really is. But they're a little different from all the other publishers. So
Well, whenever that one's ready to go, do you want to come back and talk about that one too?
I would love to anytime.
That would be amazing. So now let's
Yeah.
remind everybody who you are and where they can buy your books.
Okay, I'm Sheila Lowe, and that's Sheila Lowe, because people always spell that wrong.
Mhm.
And you should be able to get my books anywhere you get books.
And we will have links to all of your social media and places to buy your books in the description of today's podcast. So everyone can just click and go and find everything about you, or at least the things you want them to know.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, SheilaLoweBooks.com is my book site, and then SheilaLowe.com is handwriting analysis site. So they're separate but equal.
And we want people to be able to find all of them and buy all of your books.
Wow. And I appreciate that so much. I love to hear from people, and for all authors, not just me, if you like a book, please post a brief review because it really, really helps us.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, Even it doesn't matter where you post it. You can
Right.
put it on Facebook, you can put it on Amazon, you can put it on Goodreads. Just put it
BookBub.
somewhere. Yeah, BookBub, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Anywhere that you review books
Hmm.
or just tell your friends.
Yes. I mean, all of it helps. It's amazing how much it helps.
It really does.
Thank you so much for coming back and doing this with me today. It's been so long since we've gotten to chat. I'm glad we got to do this.
Me too. And thank you for asking me. I always love talking to you.
Well, I will always have you come back because you're just too much fun to talk to.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. My fascinating interview with Sheila Lowe. One of my favorite things about hosting this podcast is getting the opportunity to meet incredible people like Sheila and so many other wonderful authors over the years. There is something special about talking with people who are deeply dedicated to their craft. Whether we're discussing writing, publishing, forensic science, history, marketing, or any number of other topics, I always come away having learned something new. What I especially enjoy is the opportunity to exchange ideas, encourage one another, and occasionally make a few new friends along the way. And I'm very happy to say that that happened with Sheila. She is every bit as kind and knowledgeable and interesting off microphone as she is during an interview. And I'm grateful our paths crossed through the book world. If today's conversation sparked your curiosity about handwriting analysis, be sure to check out her nonfiction books as well. Sheila has written several books on handwriting analysis and occasionally teaches classes on the subject when her schedule allows. As she mentioned during our conversation, understanding handwriting can provide insights into people and situations in ways most of us never even think about. And while you're at it, be sure to pick up a copy of The Lies Between the Lines, available now everywhere books are sold. If you'd like to make it easy on yourself, just check the link in today's podcast description and click and go and buy her books as soon as we're done here. I highly recommend this latest installment. The entire Claudia Rose mystery series and every other book this author has written is so well done and just incredibly entertaining. I highly recommend everything that she has written. Whether you're interested in mysteries, forensic science, handwriting analysis, or memoir, she consistently delivers thoughtful, engaging, and well-crafted books. There's a reason she's built such a loyal following over the years, and if you haven't discovered her work yet, now is the perfect time to start. Now, next week, we welcome Lucy Wilson-Tago to discuss her latest book, To Catch a Sinner. Now, that name may not sound familiar to some of you, but there's a good chance you already know her work. Lucy Wilson-Tago is also Wall Street Journal best-selling author Dylan Allen, writing under a new name, and she shares the fascinating story behind the decision during our conversation next week to why she changed her name. We also discuss her latest book and where her career is headed next, and what readers can expect from this exciting new chapter in her writing journey. You don't want to miss that. Now, before I let you go, I want to remind you to remember to go and sign up for our newsletter at burkhartbooks.com/subscribe. When you do, you can receive the first 2 free chapters of The Langston Watch Hotel, the first book in our new Haunted Hearts paranormal romance series that's coming later this year. It's absolutely free to our subscribers, and after you read the chapters, you can always unsubscribe. So why not go and give it a chance? You have nothing to lose. And 2 free chapters of a new paranormal romance that you get to read for free. These 2 chapters are really important to our Haunted Hearts series. They introduce you to the characters who will form the foundation of the entire book series. Right now, 7 books are planned, with the first installment arriving later this year. The free preview will disappear at the end of June, so you need to hurry. If you've been curious about this new series, now is the time to go check it out while it's free. And don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook at Book Banter Productions to stay up to date on all of our upcoming guests, new books, cover reveals, and all the other fun things that we have planned. And right now, we're doing Spectre Sundays. In our Haunted Hearts series, there is a reality TV show called Spectre, and we're using that on Sundays to introduce you to our growing world of Haunted Hearts. Well, I don't know about you, but I think that is more than enough for today, so I'm going to let you go. So you know what that means, folks. It's time for you all to go forth and be really happy. We have so many great authors for you. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to subscribe to Book Banter with Dianne Burckhardt on your favorite podcast streaming service. Because if you love books like we do, you do not want to miss a single episode of this podcast.